inferior complexity that we have as Africans. Because I grew up in a community where people who are creative are deemed to be possessed either by evil spirits or something else. It's really, really, really disheartening seeing up till now in the 21st century, people think that we can do greater technological solutions towards problems that we are facing in Africa.
Guys, one guy don't do the unimaginable. Then they call him James Samba. For a country, Sierra Leone, he produced the first electric car. You hear me, so? This one, this I go call him innovation at its core. Oh yeah, now follow me. We can go show now.
Made in Sierra Leone, yeah. No fear, no oil, no fear, no oil. Love it. No fear, no oil.
Get around.
Welcome guys to another inspiring episode on the Beast of That Moment. This is your girl, Betty Osei Bonsu, and today we ran to Sierra Leone where we did speak their language. See language. And today on this call we are having a live interview with James Samba. What motivated him to produce the first electric car? Oh yeah, nah, make I go down on the story. So James, tell us, what's your name and what do you do?
So hello everyone, I am James Momodu Dao Samba, a Sierra Leonean, and of course I'm a student, a self-taught innovator, and also the National Youth Ambassador for the Southern region of Sierra Leone.
Okay, so what do you do?
So presently, I'm a student and a self-taught innovator who has just invented a fearless vehicle, which is 100% electric minibus that has a space to carry up to 10 passengers, including persons living with disability.
Wow, including persons with disability.
Yeah.
I think that's very, very innovative. So currently, where do you stay? What's the town in Sierra Leone?
So I'm currently staying in Freetown, Sierra Leone, which is the capital city of the country, and I'm in the west end of Freetown.
Wow, I heard your language is a pidgin English. Like, how you doing? Do you mind answering the next question in pidgin for us? Okay, so can you tell us a story from any of your life journey?
Okay, so I started my creative ambition since I was a child. I could remember staying all day inside of my bedroom and of course trying to put things together, take my granny's radio, trying to find out what exactly was making it sound, and trying to experiment on different things while being a kid. During that time, I did some experimentation on things like an FM radio station, which I developed inside my bedroom. I also developed my own remote control car, which I used as a toy at the moment because I had no other option of having one due to the poor family background I did hail from. And of course, the only option was for me to develop mine, and I did develop my own remote control car for myself as a kid. And while growing up, of course, I lived with an uncle who was a person with disability and was teaching in a nearby village in the place where I was living. He had the struggle of accessing vehicles because he was using the wheelchair. And we all know the traditional vehicles being used as transportation in Africa are one that had not been really made with disabled in mind. Of course, it's not accessible by persons with disability, those using wheelchair. And for that reason, he was only subjected to having to hang on bikes going his direction, like hanging on the bike with his arm in order to get the speed that is needed for him to move faster to where he was teaching. While doing that, a couple of months after when I left for Christ the King College, that was a town away from Bujon where I was born in, and I did grow up. He was involved in a fatal accident which nearly cost his life due to the risk he was putting himself into by hanging on those bikes to go to school. Initially, I was the one who was push riding him to the school where he was teaching, and I would later return back to my old school after dropping him off. And when I'm off from school again, I'll go collect him from the nearby village, come with him. But when I was absent, he only had the option of hanging on bikes. So after that terrible experience and the need for persons living with disability for accessibility in transportation system, back in 2020, I developed a solar-powered electric wheelchair, which was one that was fully electric, 100%, that could aid persons living with disability to independently move from where he is to where he wants to go without having to depend on hanging on bikes.
Wow.
And seeing that the problem still was there and a solution was proposed by myself, I decided not to stop at only bringing that solution. Hence, I already dreamt of having electric mobilities around Sierra Leone and Africa as a whole, due to the fact of us having our fossil fuel emissions destroying our environment. And in that light of me thinking of bringing that solution, I also thought of creating a space for persons living with disability inside of the vehicles I will be building. And now I have developed the first electric shuttle minibus, solar power, that has spaces for persons living with disability. That is 100% electric and of course does not rely on fuel. So far that's a brief journey through my innovative work.
Wow, I think this is very, very inspiring. Telling the story alone of how you had someone close to you having to juggle with bike just to get to his destination and back, and getting into a fatal accident. I think that is crazy to hear. We have a lot of African systems that do not factor in individuals with disability. And one of our episodes, even on BISA, covered that particular topic, that why are individuals with disability stigmatized in their community? And I think this is something that everyone should pay attention to. And James, I think this is a very creative work you are doing in your community, and I'm sure they are very, very proud of you. So now I'd like to know, were there any other disappointments along the way in relation to this particular innovation you brought to play?
Yeah, there are a couple of challenges, not actually disappointment, I would say, because I was able to triumph over them. And of course, some of those challenges were mainly on self-funding myself, the financial challenge in getting the raw materials that are needed in the development of the vehicle which I've just done. So it was really challenging because I'm a student, 20 years, and of course I only do survive on the little allowances that I do get from my parents.
Did you say you're 20 years?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Wow, okay. Okay, please continue.
Yeah, so I did actually struggle in getting the financial backup in the development of this project. But I believed in the dream, the passion, And of course, I had the steadfastness in pursuing this particular dream because I knew it will have a greater impact to the people that it will be solving a problem for. And of course, I was able to keep moving with the little that I did had on the way, putting them together, saving upon saving, to buy materials and items as I do need. And of course, I also did have to go to different scrapyards, dumb places in order for me to go source materials which I was unable to purchase at the moment. And of course, I was able to develop the vehicle out of those struggles.
Okay, so just to ask, have you used that vehicle to convey any individual with disability?
Yes, of course. We have done a couple of test life of it with persons with disability around the city of Freetown, and of course have done a couple of able people movements with that particular vehicle again.
Wow, I think that's really, really good. But James, I really want you to speak the Pidgin English, your language.
Okay,
in the next question, because I adore the language. I find it really, really fascinating. So from your experience in life, how you started your journey to where you are, what advice would you give to individuals or youth within communities?
Okay, I think with the request of the talking the Creole, I would say the advice where I will get from a complete man there or people them we young, that anything where they want to do, make them think of the benefits we will bring to the people within the South Bank. Make them not be lent or rely on other people and support no more. But themselves, they will believe and trust inside themselves, able to make them do anything where they want to do. Yeah.
Okay, make I yarn na this story.
Yes.
Now one do make una do aware. I think that's a really lovely language. But
Okay.
I think the work you're doing is very inspiring. Only 20 years old, and you're doing this massive work in the community. Has any of the maybe municipal chiefs come up to you? Have you received more contact since you did this electric bike?
Yes, for the couple of weeks that has passed by since I did the public view of the electric vehicle and launched it, of course, to the general public, I have received so many contacts from different people that with the main aim of just congratulating me and also trying to see how best they could giving their support as little as it could be. But so far, I would say I haven't received any financial backing in the development of this particular project to another level. But I'm hoping that as time goes closer, I will be able to actually have people who come in to support and give financial backing to my venture. Yeah.
Hopefully. Do you think this is a major challenge in Africa in relation to local indigenous innovations? That you don't have the backing of the government institutions and people in high authority?
Yes, I do actually think this a shared problem among local innovators in Africa. We do normally have people thinking of it's just like the inferior complexity that we have on ourselves as Africans. Because I grew up in a community where people who are creative are deemed to be possessed either by evil spirits or something else. You know, it's really, really, really disheartening seeing up till now in the 21st century, people think that we can do greater technological solutions towards problems that we are facing in Africa. You know, that has been the myth so far, and I believe it's because of that shared or that generational exchange of that particular myth in the minds of people who are presently leading us to see us as people who can actually do greater things. I believe that might be the cause of why we are still struggling to have financial backing of local innovators towards things that are solving the problems that we all are facing in Africa. Can be able to compete with other nations, and of course to government officials and people who might want to be investors or collaborators in uplifting the project. I am here to plead that a local solution like this would actually be of a greater impact to the people, because it will have to leverage us all from having to rely on the use of fossil fuel in our vehicles, which will of course help us to at least mitigate the effects of climate change, and of course help us again to be financially stable and not worried because of the high cost of fossil fuel in today's world. With that in mind and the benefit it will bring to the people, I would love them to come in to support and actually bring this particular solution to the general populace, as it is of a greater impact on the people. I will have to share a couple of videos that will actually show the excitement of how people are actually in need of this and how this is actually solving a problem in my little community as of now. And I believe with that, it could actually show that this problem has actually reached at a peak where a solution is needed, and a solution like mine is one that should be proud of, be proud of by the entire Africa. And I believe with that in mind, we will be able to go further as a continent.
Wow, guys, let us invest in our local solutions. They are very, very important. Guys, James needs all the support he needs or he can get in his community to elevate those individuals with disability. Imagine having those cars distributed across Africa. We have our own cars in Africa. Guys, come on, let us make this one work. Oh yeah, now, James, do you mind sharing your social media handles with the team so that they get to know how they can contact you in case they have any support?
Yes, of course. To contact me, let me start with my cell phone number and WhatsApp. Someone can reach me on +232 79 55 50 91. That, of course, is my call line and WhatsApp line. And for my email contact, it is jamessamba80@gmail.com. And for my Facebook handle, one can find me on AMB James Samba is my Facebook handle name. And it is the same again for my Instagram, AMB James Samba, and same for my Twitter account again, AMB James Samba. And for my LinkedIn, it is AMB James MD Samba. So those are my social media handles, and of course how someone can reach me if he or she has support for me. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, James. Guys, you heard him. Oh yeah, go and follow him. Go and show the massive support. A 20 years old guy in his community at this age have developed an electrical vehicle that has individuals of disability included. This guy deserves a round of applause. James, do you have any final word for our audience?
Yes, my final word for the audience audience is very much simple. As of course we have emphasized, let's support our local solutions. And of course, let's believe that Africans, we ourselves will be able to offer solutions to different problems that we are facing. Let's don't depend on having our problems being solved by other nations. But let's start believing first in ourselves and again offering solutions to different problems affecting us. And let's don't stop supporting our local solutions.
Very important. Thank you so much, Samba.
Thank you very much.
Guys, you hear that one? What has witchcraft or possession got to do with innovation? Hey, it's only in Africa that you will hear this one. Did you hear James? How can they associate him as a wizard? I can't think far. Oh my God. But guys, he said it and he kept it right. Innovation, local and indigenous solutions must be promoted by all, both from the community level to the municipal level to the ministry level. We too, we should look at ourselves now. The solution is with us, for us, and in us. So guys, do well to follow us on all social media platforms. On LinkedIn, it's Be Inspired with Stories from Africa. On YouTube, it's Be Inspired with Stories from Africa. And on Facebook, it's Bisa with Betty. Stay tuned, guys. And don't forget to leave a very interesting comment. More inspiring stories on the way.
Bisa.